Yes.
Okay.
Can you see him?
Can't. Okay. Should I talk there or there?
There.
Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming to Ethan's speech. Ethan is going to talk about vitamins. Now, vitamins are an interesting topic because we all think that we know something about vitamins, but actually many of the things that we heard about vitamins from our moms or that we learn in school, it's actually very, very limited amount of information. In fact, the study of vitamins is quite controversial, and we have had many cases where doctors who said that they have cured certain illness with vitamins have actually finished in prison because apparently vitamins cannot cure anything. They're just vitamins. They're kind of important, but not really that important. And also, a lot of the very often we hear these scary stories about people dying from different overdoses of taking certain vitamins, which is true. However, we never hear the other side of the story. That is that there are a lot of there's a lot of research on vitamins that which is also very reliable, which never comes out in a lot of mainstream newspapers. They only go out in naturopathic newspapers or and they're usually practiced by naturopaths, which are doctors that use natural medicine. So, for example, the intravenous usage of vitamin C, that they use up to 10,000 milligrams, which is 10 grams of vitamin C per day, or 20,000, which is way, way, way over the line. And apparently, there are cases even when doctors who are refusing to treat even people who are on a deathbed, who are already signed out that they're going to die, and then their family comes out with this alternative method that might treat their illness, like the bird flu a few years ago. Yes. There was a person who was actually cured with a large dose of vitamin C intravenously. Apparently now intravenous doses of vitamin C are outlawed. They're illegal. But that person was cured. And nobody actually died from this kind of thing. So it's very interesting. We all think we know something about vitamins. Oh, eat carrots. Oh, eat some this and that. But now, should we supplement the vitamins, or should we just take them through food? And now, if we supplement, are all supplements the same? So there are a lot of actually things about vitamins that when we live in a modern society and eat food which is depleted from minerals and vitamins, severely depleted, it might be useful for us to learn more about it. So, thank you, Tim, for having this speech, and please share with us.
All right. Well, I hope that you will think about what I'm going to say. I'm actually just going to be giving a lot of information, so I hope that you listen to this information and think of some questions that you want to ask me. Angel brought up some really great points, which I'm not going to be able to get in order or anything like that, unless you, in the question and answer time, go ahead and ask me those questions again, or maybe Angel, you can ask some things that maybe I forget to run over. Because it is a very complicated issue. It is controversial. There are studies that say one thing and some studies that say another thing. There are historically in the early 20th century, not so early, but in the 1930s, 1920s, into the 1940s, there were physicians working with vitamins or nutritionists working with vitamins that were actually they were saying that they were curing people with the vitamins. Into the later half of the 20th century, doctors got away from nutrition so much and started doing a lot more with pharmaceuticals, just a pill for every ill, they say. But let's talk about vitamins. So if you read my abstract of the speech, I basically said, take it from my perspective. When I was a child, what did I know of vitamins? Well, I knew there was like A, B, C, D, E. That's about what I knew. That's about it. And I think my mom would say, you know, eat carrots because they have vitamin A and they'll help your eyes, or something like that. Or I remember seeing milk said it had vitamin D in it. I remember seeing breakfast cereal had all kinds of vitamins in it. But specifically the milk and the breakfast cereal, those are vitamins that are added to them because the government thinks that people are not getting enough nutrition in their daily diet. So I think the first thing that I wanted to talk about is, yeah, we do know there's vitamin A, B, C, D, E. There's also vitamin K. And where is my list of vitamins? Let's start. Vitamin A was discovered in 1913. Vitamin B1. And if you want, I'm not going to say what each of these vitamins actually is, but let me just say that a vitamin is not just a vitamin. It's not like there's this thing in nature that's called a vitamin. Vitamin was a word that was made up to sort of classify all of these, this group of important nutrients. I could tell you the name of each of these vitamins, but if you want, we can talk about that later, and I'll talk about where they come from in our food as well. So in 1913, vitamin A was discovered. 1920, vitamin C was discovered. The B vitamins were discovered between, sorry, I should have said A, B, C, but I went A, C. We'll go back to B. The B vitamins were discovered between 1910, and the last B vitamin was discovered in 1941. Vitamin D was discovered in 1920, vitamin E in 1922, vitamin K in 1929. There are 8 B vitamins. Vitamin B1, B2, B5, or sorry, B3, B5, B6, B9, and B12. So altogether we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different major vitamins. The word vitamin comes from a Polish doctor who put these two words together, vital and amine, and vital, let's see, I don't want to misquote it, so it's right here. No, it's right here. Casimir Funk, the Polish scientist, put vital and amine together. Amine meaning life, and vital meaning necessary. This was like when vitamins were just first being discovered, and he thought that they must be necessary for us, so he gave them this name. There's even misinformation out there about where we get the name vitamin. I've heard, so I saw somebody post somewhere online that there was a scientist with the last name of vitamin, and that's where it got its name. But, so from the very beginning of vitamins, there's been controversy all the way through current times. I'll get to that later. So, where was I? The different vitamins. Now, all of those different vitamins can be classified into 2 different groups. There's water-soluble vitamins and fat-soluble vitamins, meaning some vitamins, when you take them into your body, are absorbed into the water in your body, and some are actually absorbed into the fat. So this whole little thing right here is about water and fat soluble vitamins, but I'm not going to go over that. We'll leave that for questions. Most of my information here is for just in case you guys have questions. So what are the sources of vitamins? Actually, I have no idea where I want to go with this. Hi everybody watching out there. I've had a really busy week and have been thinking about this speech for a couple of months, but when it came to crunch time, I sort of have all the information, but no idea which direction I want to go with it.
Maybe we can ask some questions and help you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to pop. Okay, well let's do that. Let's go non-orthodox. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Now I'm curious about what is vitamin D?
What is vitamin D?
Yeah, and how can we get vitamin
Well, let's go right to the answer sheet, my cheat sheet. Before I go to my cheat sheet, what I know about vitamin D is it's actually produced inside of either a human body or an animal body through contact with ultraviolet light and the cholesterol in your fatty tissue. So when ultraviolet light hits the fatty tissue under your skin, your body produces the vitamin D. So you can either, if you have a healthy diet and you get plenty of sun or enough sun, you can produce all the vitamin D that you need. As long as if you're also ingesting something else might inhibit the production of vitamin D, or some people have actually immune problems or some problems that actually make it more difficult for their body to produce vitamin D, and they might need to take extra vitamin D. But let's go to my cheat sheet. I actually take extra vitamin D because I don't get enough sun. What is vitamin D? Vitamin D is cholecalciferol. And it is fat soluble. I'll tell you, you can get it from a healthy diet and sun, or you can also eat fish, eggs. Liver is very high in vitamin D. I don't personally eat liver, but I'm thinking I'm going to start because all of the vitamins that are in animals are very, very high in the liver. And mushrooms. One of the things that vitamin D does is it helps. Wait, am I going to say this wrong? No, I think it's right. It helps with your body's uptake of calcium. So if you don't have enough vitamin D, your body is also not going to get enough calcium, and you'll start to have problems with your bones. If you don't have enough vitamin D, you can get rickets. Though I don't know if I've ever met anyone with rickets. I think that's probably a thing of the past because they put vitamin D in milk, and all kinds of other stuff is fortified with vitamin D. And osteomalacia, and I believe that has to do with the bones. You can overdose on vitamin D, though I have no idea what hypervitaminosis D is. I believe it's probably just a little bit sick with too many vitamins.
Actually, can I say something here? Okay, vitamin D is very controversial vitamin. Recently there has been loads of new research about vitamin D, and apparently some people say that we just call it vitamin because we thought it's vitamin. Apparently it's not really a vitamin, it's more like a hormone, because it causes reactions in our body. Hormones basically are proteins that cause cascade reactions, chemical reactions in the body. And this is probably what vitamin D does. It's very interesting that it controls maybe 2% of our genome. In other words, if we don't have enough vitamin D, the expression of our DNA might be actually altered. And today, probably most of us are deficient in vitamin D, even during summer. Because we live behind windows. Windows block out the UV. Also, even if we get exposure to sunshine, there has been some new research about how the vitamin D gets synthesized. Actually, the first exposure we get when we use soap and we wash our skin, we actually tend to eliminate a lot of that precursor to vitamin D that begins in the fat cells, because we actually wash the fat from our pores. So it's actually very easy for us to get vitamin D because it only takes if there is a good sunshine, ultraviolet sunshine, strong sunshine that will make your skin pinkish, not burned, but just a little bit pinkish, that can be very good. And don't use soap on those areas, at least hands or face that were exposed for a few days, maybe 2 or 3 days, until it actually soaks down in the deeper
So we shouldn't
layers
wash
of the body.
ourselves at least.
No, just well, yeah, but we talk about just this part, right? We just talk about very limited exposed areas of our body. So it's very weird that people can actually go and stay on the beach and get tanned, but actually be vitamin D deficient. This is what happens to loads of people because we use sunscreens. Sunscreens will block UV, and we don't have D. Okay, it's such an important vitamin that actually some people think that the racial distinction became because of D vitamin. Because when we moved to the northern areas, there was little exposure to sunshine, and black skin, African skin, is already a natural sunscreen. It takes a lot more sun exposure to get vitamin D. So what happened to people exposed in the north was that albinos, which would be out-competed if they lived in Africa, right? They wouldn't be, but in the north, albino descendants would be more healthy because they would have more vitamin D because their skin would need less exposure to sunshine to produce it. Right? So for a white person, it only takes 10 minutes of a good exposure, but for a black person, it might take an hour because their skin already works as a natural sunscreen. So yeah, vitamin D is very interesting, and currently the FDA approved amount is 400 international units. However, a lot of doctors say that actually 6,000 is completely fine for your health. Cancer is being treated with vitamin D. A lot of cancer patients have been treated. Vitamin D is like Dr. Mercola does a vitamin D screening for every cancer patient he has. And usually they're extremely deficient in vitamin D. So yeah, very, very interesting kind of thing. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. That's great.
Just
I'm gonna need all the help I can.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have to add to that is when I was back in the United States in 2009, the naturopath that I went to see said that he's from his research and from talking to other naturopaths and talking to other doctors and from all the studies that are coming out, it's looking like the majority of the people in the United States at least are vitamin D deficient. And the thing about vitamins is it's not like one vitamin does one thing. It's not like there are 18 vitamins and there are only 18 things that these vitamins do. One vitamin might do 25 different things or 100 different things, but not by itself, with other vitamins or with other amino acids or all kinds of different things. They work together. So, any more questions? Yeah?
Could we take enough vitamin from food, or we need the vitamin P every day? Yeah.
You should be able to take enough vitamins from the food that you eat. I think, a lot of, I should say, sorry, the reason that I wanted to do this speech was because I was with a group of people. This girl asked me, Ethan, do you know anything about vitamin C? What the pill? Like, what can you tell me about taking vitamin C pills? And what I ended up saying to her wasn't exactly the truth. So I wanted to find out more about taking vitamin pills because I've been taking vitamin pills for years and years and years. There was a study, or a number of studies that came out 4 or 5 years ago that were then reported in the Washington Post, I think. And all of the negative aspects from these studies were picked out by the Washington Post and then put out as an article talking about all the problems that can come from taking vitamin pills. We'll get on to that later, what problems might come from taking vitamin pills. But I would say generally, if you think that you're not getting enough vitamins from the food that you eat, it's probably good to try to find maybe a basic multivitamin, but not a cheap multivitamin, the best multivitamin that you can possibly find. I think this is the problem with vitamin pills, is that it goes from the range of extremely cheap, maybe not the best source, maybe not in the right balance, to something that's much more like a natural thing. I used to take a vitamin pill from the United States, I think it is. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I think it's called Energy Food or something like that. And it's not just vitamins, but it's also things called bioflavonoids. It's also amino acids. It also has small amounts of dark green algae and berry juices and fruit juices and all of these different things packed into one, trying to get sort of a balance of whatever you might be missing from your diet. So I think the idea is eat as many. Well, we had this food speech before, so eat what's right for your body. All of our bodies are different, so I can't tell you what you should eat, but eat what's right for your body. But I think that should include as many raw fruits and vegetables as possible. It doesn't have to be all raw. I think the speech that I gave last time on food, the important point was try to get to about 50% of your meal being raw, which it actually should be 51%, just a little bit more than half. So if all of your meal is cooked, you might not be getting all of the vegetable or the nutrients that you need. You might not be getting all the vitamins that you need. But if you are also eating, maybe on Monday you eat a big carrot, and on Tuesday you eat a couple of apples, and on Wednesday you eat 3 or 4 oranges, and on Thursday you have a papaya, and on Friday for dinner all you have is salad and whole wheat bread or something like that. I mean, that's the tendency, that you're trying to get all of these vitamins. You should be able to get all the vitamins that you need from your diet. I would say it's okay to take a multivitamin also. We'll get on to vitamin C and vitamin E and the B vitamins, and there are all kinds of other stuff too. I mean, some people take calcium pills or iron pills, and there are all kinds of what people would think of as vitamins. They're not exactly vitamins. They might be minerals, or they might be fish oil or something like that. Yeah, you should be able to get all the vitamins that you need. So maybe just to talk about some sources of vitamins. If you want to eat lots of B vitamins, you might eat things like yeast extract. Will give you a lot of vitamin B12. This is all B12. Why is this all B12? Why is this all talking about B12? Okay, anyway, let's see. B1 is thiamine, B2 is riboflavin, B3 is nicotinic acid, B6 is pyridoxine. I can't even pronounce it. Skip over that. Yeah. Pyridoxine. Yeah. B12 is cobalamin, and then there's folate. It says here the body requires relatively small amounts of vitamins B1, B2, and B3. Vitamins B6 and B12 help the body to use folic acid and are vital nutrients in a range of activities such as cell repair, digestion, and the production of energy in the immune system. Vitamin B12 is needed for the breakdown of fat and carbohydrates. Vitamin B6 is found in most foods, so deficiency is rare. Okay, I see why this is talking about vitamin B12, because it's specifically for vegetarians. Where can vegetarians get vitamin B12? Any more questions?
Should I fill in a little bit here?
Yes.
Okay. Vitamin B12, especially for people who are vegetarian, it's usually needed in very, very small quantities, but a lot of vegetarians become deficient in it. So there are very cheap solutions about it. There are sprays that you can actually just spray them under the tongue and it can get absorbed in a few seconds. It's very cheap, lasts for a few months. Also, there are like little tablets that can be melted under the tongue as well, so they get absorbed directly. Don't get absorbed in the stomach, but just directly through the mouth. And B17.
What was B17?
Yes, there's a lot of B17 in the apricot seeds, apricot casein. I don't know how to say it in Chinese. It's used also in cancer treatment. So people who have cancer have taken a lot of B17, and also they have shots of B17, but they only treat it like this in naturopathic treatments of cancer, and people have been treated successfully with this. Again, a doctor went to jail for doing this.
How about is it those pills or those pills you put in water? Do they really contain? I mean, they contain vitamins, but can our body really absorb these vitamins coming from pills? Well, you know. What I mean.
Yeah, the water soluble ones, our bodies should be able to absorb them. What I was reading was that if you want your body to properly absorb the fat soluble vitamins, you should take the vitamins with a meal. I would recommend taking vitamins with a meal no matter what. I mean, if you've ever taken vitamin C pills on an empty stomach, it can make you feel sick. I mean, 500 milligrams, maybe not. 1,000 milligrams, which is 2 pills or 1 big pill, or 2,000 milligrams if you run a really big dose on an empty stomach, should make you feel sick. But with food, no problem. The fat-soluble ones, I think they recommend eating vitamins with food. I've got a big thing here on the study, the studies that were done that the Washington Post reported on. Sorry, Wall Street Journal. I said Washington Post. I meant Wall Street Journal. What they reported on, and at the end of each one of these, they say, okay, for optimal effects, take B vitamins together with a B complex vitamin with food. Vitamin C, your 500 to 1,000 milligrams. It's 1 small pill to 2 small pills, or 1 big pill with food. And you should also take vitamin E and vitamin C together. Not necessarily at the same time, but in the same day, or at the same time. All of these different ones, they say, take this, not too much, but it's okay to take it and do it with food. Here, taking calcium and vitamin D supplements with food. Vitamin E, optimal effect with food, but check with your physician, because if you're taking blood thinning medications, it might not work as well. What was your question?
Can our body really
Absorb?
Yeah.
Should
the
be able
vitamins
to.
from pills?
Because
I think I heard some speculations that the pills are useless.
Right. Your body doesn't want to take any more vitamins than it needs to, necessarily, unless it's sick or something like that. But let's say your body is really healthy and you're eating really well, your body has all the nutrients that you want, and you're still taking 3 multivitamins a day, something like that. You're probably going to pass a lot of that out. Is that right?
Yeah, but there might be some buildup, actually, a negative buildup.
Negative buildup.
Yeah, yeah. But it depends. The thing is that right now the FDA recommendations are way below anything. They're very minimal, and so like vitamin C, they say how much, like 80 milligrams. We need 8, but then you have loads of doctors that say at least 1,000 milligrams per day. vitamin D. They say 400, but actually 2000 is recently they said 1,000 to 2,000 units is actually also good. Up to 6,000 as well. So it's very, you get very different recommendations depending where you look at. And if the perfect thing would be to make actually a check of what vitamins we are deficient in and kind of supplement on what we need. So, but I'm not sure where in Taiwan you can do that. Because you can actually screen your blood and see which vitamins you're deficient in, and then you just kind of through food or through something you. But yeah.